can you say you are a psalmist and then you now have 7 backup singers? You have uniform. You are traveling on business class, charging people 5 million to come and perform. It's actually performance. The other day they told me one was charging 20 million. And now said, how much did they put the whole conference together?
Hi there, this is Kazungu Duncan. I hope that you are doing fine. Welcome to our show today. And today I'll just be asking the question, is it okay for gospel ministers, or rather gospel singers, to charge for their concerts? We realize that when the gospel singers are live recording or are having concerts, they tend to charge for those concerts. So that means you pay something before you attend the concert. This has brought a very big problem with some of the ministers of the gospel, and they feel that these gospel ministers or gospel singers have a problem when they are charging. Now, we'll be listening to some of the speakers who were able to, openly speak about this, and they were against it. And then later on, we shall be seeing whether or not they should be charging for these concerts. So let's listen to Apostle Michael Orokpo and see what he has to say about this.
If they have to give you 20 million for coming to sing for 10 minutes, even God knows that some of us will not make that mistake. Because I know God does not hear melody. God hears spirit. And if there's no spirit in you, there's nothing here.
I know a man of God, a mentor, who invited one of the gospel musicians. They are gospel musicians, not ministers. And what this guy called, I think it's 5 million naira. How much should the guest speaker, the priest who they brought to minister, how much will it take? How much does it cost to organize the whole program? How much did they spend? We've traveled to programs where I'll be the one to pay for all my men. And then we'll go there, come back, we won't take 1 naira from them. Nobody anywhere can say, I invited Prophet Joel and he told me that before I come, give us this money. I go there sometime, I'm the one who is paying the hotel bill for them. I can proudly say that. I know this thing, when it comes out, they will hate it. But I won't apologize. You are fake. Go and pray. If what I'm saying is wrong, let the Holy Ghost tell you. Do not provide a pause for yourself.
Now, of course, Apostle is against this. So you realize that he mentions that when they are doing or when they are charging for these concerts, they cease to be gospel ministers and they become gospel singers, or it is now a gospel industry and not a gospel ministry. We'll be looking at the difference between the gospel ministry and the gospel industry and see whether there is a difference, and if maybe we can classify some of the singers being part of the gospel industry or being part of the gospel ministry. But then, before I give my view about this, I want us to listen to this testimony and see if they should be charging, because I don't want us to quickly judge before we see what these ministers have to go through.
In a few minutes to the time, the organizers came to us, and before that meeting, I'd flown my team to Kenya. I know this is what we tell people. So we went to Kenya with the team. I flew them there, and not charging by faith. When we didn't know the people, we went by faith. We finished, no offering, no nothing. And every time that happens, I bear the brunt. Because I tell my team, I'm the one that has the revelation. Yes. You're not the one to suffer for it. So we take care of them. So we're coming back from a place where we had no dime. Then we went to Côte d'Ivoire, and again by faith. And a few minutes to the time, we said, sorry, there's not going to be an offering. We can't afford it anymore. I told my team, we're here. I said, we're not going to minister any less. We'll fire on all cylinders. We finished from the airport, from the stadium. There was no protocol car. We found our way to the hotel room. We're about to check out. And then the hotel said, check out to where? They've not paid the hotel bill. I traveled with another Nigerian gospel music minister. She went with 11 people, I went with 9 people. So I went with 11, she went with 9, so we're 21. So this Ivory Coast, they locked us into the hotel. And this is not when I started ministry 20 years ago. This is about 3-4 years ago, before the Hallelujah Challenge. So a volunteer was crying and saw the way we were treated, said, you know what, I'll stand surety, let them go. We packed our bags, stayed outside, stopped taxis, put our monies together, went to the airport, we're about to fly. We said, you know what, let's even go, don't worry. You know, my wife was pregnant she's sitting here, for Zoe, you know, had a little son, and then we couldn't reach the people. She was, you know, so hurt, and for the first time, you know, people don't know what ministers go through. My wife said, can you give me the phone to talk to them? I want to just pray for them. I said, no, honey, don't worry, you won't pray for them. So we're about to fly, and Arik Airline then, we went to check in. He said, where are you going to? He said, people don't have flight, they've not paid. So we sat down at the airport. Thank God we visited the ambassador. So we called the ambassador, said, beg Arik. So anyway, they begged Arik, they took us on credit, seized our bags. So we came back, we paid all the flight tickets for our team. And I wouldn't just pay flight ticket, I would, from my finances, give every one of them.
Now, listening to Nathaniel Bassi, what do you think? What do you think? Should they charge for their concerts? Should they charge for their live recording, or should they not? Maybe drop me a comment. I would like to hear from you. Now, I want us to look at the difference between gospel ministry and gospel industry and see if they should work together or if they are very different from one another.
Now we are called in driving the narrative of ministry. Ministry is a combination of ministry and industry. God has called you to do ministry, which is to bless lives, but he routes you through a platform professionally, which is called an industry. Ministry is anything done triggered by the love of Christ, but done towards the advancement of God's kingdom. Industry is the professional platform where professionals find expression. Without industry, your ministry won't find expression. Instagram is not ministry, it's industry. YouTube is industry. This microphone is industry. Music in itself is not a ministry, it's a tool for ministry.
Now, from the explanation of the gospel industry and the gospel ministry, in my opinion, they have to work together. One cannot do on its own. And if it does on its own, then one of it will be affected in terms of being spread to the outside world. All right. So we need to have the two intertwined to work together for that. Now, we have gospel ministers who have a specific rate. So they tell you, before I come, I need you to pay me this amount of money. So most of them are classified as if they are in gospel industry. All right. They are termed as people who are after money. Okay. Do you think, in your own opinion, do you think that it is okay for a gospel singer to put a specific rate that before I come for you for your concert, or before I come to minister, I need you to pay me this amount of money? Please drop me a comment. I would like to hear from you, because there is a problem with these people and they have a problem with those who are inviting them. So from this video, we've seen many speakers speak about these condemning gospel ministers charging for their concerts and feeling as if it is wrong. In my own opinion, I think they need to charge. And these are the reasons why. You realize that when these ministers come, they have to pay for some bills. For example, they have people who are helping them do the job, because you realize they cannot do everything on their own. There is singing part of it. There are instruments. There are people who play the instruments. There is bills for hiring the hall, wherever they are doing that from. And there are also maybe bus fare or flight fee. And you find that they have a lot on their table. And again, you realize that some of these ministers live off the music they are doing. So they depend on the music. So if they do not charge, they realize that they are spending a lot and what they are getting is almost nothing. Okay, I know some ministers say that they are giving out their service, all right, which is okay. But then this service comes with a price, and that price has to be met. We listened earlier on to Nathaniel, and he said when he went to Cote d'Ivoire and they did not pay for his flight, they did not pay for his accommodation, and he was to take care of everything. So you can imagine if these ministers are going through this, they have to pay the bills, they have to make sure their children are going to school, they have to make sure that, you know, their parents are living a good life, they have to make sure that their cars are fueled. You realize that there is a problem at the end of the day. And then some say that they make, you know, plans with the person who has invited them. For example, if a pastor invites them, then these ministers tend to make some agreement that they will call for an altar call, or they'll call for a special offering, and then when that offering is given, you realize now they have to share maybe 60-40, you see, 60%, 40%, all right, and they still have a problem in that. But my question is, some of these pastors also, when they are invited, they are paid. So is it also wrong to pay a pastor when they have been invited to teach? Maybe that's a question I should be asking you. You can drop me a comment and let me know about it. But in my opinion, I feel now that these guys are encountering bills to pay, and we don't want them also to go on debts, right? For me, I feel it is okay for them to put some charges, okay? Before you go for that concert, you can pay, not really paying, but you are just supporting their work so that they can be able to pay the bills and get something good out of it at the end of the day. So maybe you can drop me a comment and let me know if you feel the same, or if you are condemning it. I'll also be able to listen to your views, and maybe I'll do another video to answer if there be a question that you need to be answered. But yeah, it goes both ways. But again, it is not good to put a specific rate. Maybe that is according to me. In my opinion, it is not okay for them to put a specific rate, and they tell you, unless you do this, then we are not coming. Then that means they'll be prioritizing money before their ministry, and maybe that could bring some problems. So in my opinion, I would say maybe the issue of prioritizing money or putting specific rates on their service would bring a problem. Then they can avoid that, all right, and they can just say, maybe we are charging some amount of money. If you are coming for the concert, you need to pay this, but then don't say that before I come you must do this. Unless you do that, I'll not be able to come. Otherwise, that is it. I don't know your view about it. Please drop me a comment, and please make sure that you also subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Please subscribe with notifications on, so that when we post our next video, you'll be able to watch. Otherwise, this has been Kazungu Duncan, and this is InspireSphere. Please subscribe for more videos. Otherwise, I'll be reading your comments. If there will be a need for me to make a video to respond to your comment, I'll do that. Otherwise, please check out, you can click on this screen anywhere and watch the next video, and I hope that I will see you in that video. Peace.